great. I like to do it sometimes.
Thank
like,
you, brother. Appreciate it.
He hasn't shot under 50% since like 2012. We haven't had a scorer as equipped as KD in our league ever.
LeBron James and Steve Nash sitting down with Kevin Durant on Mind the Game sounds like it should just be three basketball legends giving each other compliments. But this conversation got way deeper than that. Because this was not just about KD being tall and skilled. This was about why Kevin Durant is one of the most impossible scorers basketball has ever seen, and why even LeBron, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, was basically sitting there admitting, yeah, there are parts of KD's game I wish I had. And here's the part nobody is talking about. When LeBron James is praising your scoring package like that, it is not casual. That is one all-time great recognizing another one. The Kevin Durant interview started with a simple idea, but it opened up a huge basketball conversation. LeBron is the leading scorer in NBA history, but even he had to admit Kevin Durant has a scoring smoothness that is almost impossible to copy. KD does not just score from one area, he scores from every level. Three-point line, mid-range, post area, pull-ups, catch and shoot, pick and roll, transition, pin downs, off movement, isolation, it doesn't really matter. LeBron said we have never had a scorer as fully equipped as KD. And honestly, that might be one of the biggest compliments Durant has ever received.
I don't think a spot, an action, or a style of play that you couldn't be yourself, be efficient in.
And this is where it gets dangerous, because a lot of people talk about scoring like it is only about points per game. But LeBron and Nash were talking about efficiency, and that is where KD separates himself. LeBron pointed out how Durant basically has not shot under 50% from the field since around 2012. That is insane when you really think about it. We're not talking about a big man catching lobs and dunking everything. We're talking about a perimeter scorer, taking difficult jumpers, contested mid-range shots, threes, pull-ups, and still staying efficient year after year. Here's the part nobody is talking about. KD makes hard shots look so normal that people stop respecting how hard they actually are. He will catch the ball, take one dribble, rise over a defender, and it looks easy because his release is so clean. But that is not easy. That is years of footwork, balance, reps, timing, and understanding how defenders are trying to bother him. Steve Nash kept pointing that out too. KD can pick the ball up from different spots, shoot from different angles, and still have his legs underneath him. That is not just talent, that is detail.
LeBron is the greatest, the leading scorer of all time in NBA history. But I think even you would admit there's things about Kevin's game you wish you had.
Durant explained that early in his career, he was mostly just catching and shooting. He was young, the game was moving fast, and when he got uncomfortable, he would fall back on the one thing he knew he could do, shoot over people. But then he started realizing there was more to learn. He started seeing teammates open when he came off pick and rolls. He started understanding pace. He wanted coaches to trust him anywhere on the floor. He didn't want to be the kind of player a coach had to protect from certain actions. This is where young players usually make a mistake. They become comfortable being good at one thing. KD was already an elite scorer, but he didn't want to be limited. He didn't want a coach saying, "We cannot run this play on that side because KD is not as comfortable there." That bothered him. So he expanded. He learned how to work both sides of the floor. He learned the balance and footwork going left and going right. He learned how to operate in pick and rolls, how to make reads, and how to be useful no matter what action was called.
And in a league that doesn't talk about efficiency enough, because I'm one of those efficiency guys. Like I hate going out there just chucking up shots or, looking at the box score and I was maybe 8 for 23 or 9 for 25 or 6 for 18. Like, you're gonna have those nights for sure.
Yeah.
That part of the conversation was really interesting because Nash and KD started talking about how even elite players have preferred sides. KD admitted going left became more natural for him, especially with that 1-2 dribble pull-up. But he also worked on changing his pickups, adjusting where the ball came up, and finding ways to still get the shot off when defenders were being physical. And that is the stuff fans usually don't notice. They just see the jumper go in. They don't see the tiny adjustment that made the jumper possible. Here's the part nobody is talking about. Steve Nash understood every detail because he lived that same obsession. He talked about having to work on movement patterns, balance, and footwork because defenders start knowing your habits. If they know you want to go left, you have to punish them going right. If they swipe at your normal pickup, you have to bring the ball up from a different angle. That is the chess match. That is what separates great scorers from normal scorers.
And I understand the balance between having to get up a lot of threes, but I believe you can't tell you, Luka, or Austin Reeves, don't play your game and take those shots in the mid-range or just be you. Certain guys, though.
No, for sure.
Then they got into the 50-40-90 conversation, and that is where the mental side became clear. KD has done it twice, Nash did it 4 times. And instead of celebrating the times they made it, Nash talked about the times he barely missed it. 1 field goal here, 1 or 2 free throws there, and suddenly a historic efficiency season is gone. KD said there were seasons where he was close too, and sometimes thinking about it got in his way. That was one of the most human moments in the interview, because even players that great can overthink. This is where it gets dangerous, because fans love calling players automatic, but the pressure of being automatic is heavy. KD, Steph, Shai, Kawhi, those guys shoot and everybody expects the ball to go in. That sounds like a compliment, but it also creates pressure. KD even admitted free throws bother him mentally when he is not near that elite percentage. For most players, mid-80s from the line is great. For KD, it feels like a problem. That is the standard he holds himself to. LeBron also got honest about his own game. He admitted the mid-range was something he never fully mastered the way KD did. He improved a lot, especially later in his career, but he talked about how going left into a pull-up felt more comfortable than going right. He explained how sometimes his balance would feel off, or he would not know whether to fade or go straight up, and that was fascinating because LeBron is one of the greatest players ever, but he was still open enough to say, this part of the game has always messed with me a little. Here's the part nobody is talking about. That honesty is why this show works. LeBron is not sitting there pretending he has every basketball answer. Nash is not just nodding along. KD is not acting like everything came easy. They are breaking down the game like people who have actually struggled with tiny details at the highest level. That is what makes Mind the Game different. It is not debate show screaming, it is real basketball language. Then the conversation shifted into the mid-range, and this might have been the best part. For years, analytics told everybody threes, layups, and free throws were the smartest shots, and for role players, that still makes sense. But LeBron and KD made the important distinction. The mid-range is not dead. It just has to come from the right players. If you are Kevin Durant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kawhi Leonard, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, or another player who can create and make those shots efficiently, then the mid-range is not a bad shot. It is your shot. This is where young players usually make a mistake. They copy the shot without copying the skill. Just because KD can rise up from 17 feet does not mean every player should be taking that shot. KD can take it because he has the footwork, balance, size, touch, and reps to make it efficient. Role players who can't create that shot need to space the floor and shoot threes. But the best players cannot be turned into robots. You cannot tell a great shot creator to stop playing his game just because a spreadsheet says something else. KD made that point perfectly when he told a story about someone telling him he needed to shoot more threes after he hit a couple mid-range shots. His response was basically, no, the guys around me need to shoot more threes. I need to play my game. And that is the whole conversation right there. The star bends the defense, the role players punish the defense. If KD gets to the mid-range and defenders collapse, then the shooters around him need to be ready. That is basketball balance. And here's the part nobody is talking about. The playoffs are exactly where the mid-range becomes valuable again. In the postseason, defenses take away first options. They run shooters off the line, they protect the rim harder, they bump, grab, switch, and force you into uncomfortable possessions. At that point, you need somebody who can just get to a spot and rise. That is why KD matters. That is why Shai matters. That is why Kawhi at his best is terrifying. That is why the mid-range never really disappeared for the true elite players. The bigger legacy angle is simple. This interview reminded everybody that Kevin Durant is not just a great scorer because he is tall and can shoot. He is a great scorer because he built a complete scoring system. He can play in almost any action. He can shoot from almost any spot. He can adjust pickups, change footwork, move without the ball, handle and pick and roll, and still finish the possession efficiently. That is not normal. That is basketball mastery. And for LeBron to say the league has never had a scorer as equipped as KD is a major statement, because LeBron has played against everybody. He has seen Kobe, he has seen Steph, he has seen Harden, he has seen Melo, he has seen every kind of scorer. So when he puts KD in that special category, people should listen. It does not mean KD is greater than all of them overall. It means his scoring toolkit might be the cleanest and most complete we have ever seen. So now the debate starts. Is Kevin Durant the most complete scorer in NBA history, or do fans underrate him because his game looks too smooth and too effortless? Because after listening to LeBron James and Steve Nash break it down, it becomes harder to deny. KD is not just making shots, he is solving basketball problems in real time. And if LeBron himself is sitting there saying he wishes he had parts of KD's game, maybe it's time people stop treating Durant's scoring like it is normal.